Do you feel like you could do anything if only you knew what it was? You're curious about everything, but you're paralyzed by choice. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're a scanner, and today I'm going to show you how that can be your greatest superpower. Welcome! Today we're diving into curiosity, hobbies, and careers. We're going to explore why some interests fade, why others stick, and how you can turn your natural curiosity into a powerful, multifaceted career. Some people struggle to stick with things. Others, they can stick, but they want to stick to everything. You look at your life and see a dozen paths. Every path feels like part of who you are. You're not afraid of hard work. You're paralyzed by choice. This is the classic scanner's dilemma. I could do anything if I only knew what it was. Sound familiar? Society even gives you a label, a dilettante, a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And the anxiety of that label? It's crushing. Your curiosity, your greatest strength, can feel like your biggest career liability. But today, we'll dismantle that anxiety and show you a path forward for people who were never meant to just be one thing. Let's start with why traditional career advice can feel like a trap. For decades, society praised specialists. Imagine life as a chessboard. Rules clear, moves predictable. Success meant going deep in one field. Psychologists call this a kind learning environment. Repetition is rewarded. You get the I-shaped person. One deep pillar of knowledge, an expert in one domain. But today, the world is different. It's a wicked learning environment. Rules constantly change. Feedback is delayed. Patterns aren't obvious. Compare a golfer to a firefighter. A golfer works in a kind environment. Rules never change. Feedback is instant. Mistakes are easy to measure. A firefighter works in a wicked environment. Every situation is new, rules unknown, knowledge may not apply. Imagine having to make a split-second decision while everything around you is changing, and no handbook can help. In a wicked world, hyper-specialists can have blind spots. We still need specialists. They're incredibly valuable. The problem comes when we treat specialization as the only path. That makes people like you feel like failures when your brain is built for a different world. To thrive, stop thinking in job titles. Start thinking in shapes. The I-shaped person is the specialist. The dash-shaped person is a mile wide and an inch deep. Knows a little about everything but has no foundation. Feels anxious, ungrounded. The shape we're aiming for is M-shaped, the polymath. Imagine this. One leg is data science, deep enough to pay the bills. Another leg is storytelling, deep enough to shine. And the horizontal bar is your curiosity, psychology, history, design, even music or art. Suddenly, you're not a distracted data scientist. You're the person who can turn complex data into a story even a CEO can understand. Rare. Valuable. Here's the magic tool polymaths use. Far transfer. Specialists use near transfer, applying a skill to a similar problem. Polymaths see patterns across fields. Someone who studies tree roots might redesign a company's database. A musician might see code like a symphony and make it elegant. All those seemingly random interests you've collected, they're your library of metaphors for breakthroughs. Take a moment now. Write down 3 things you're curious about right now. Don't judge them, just list them. These are the sparks that will feed your M-shaped career in the future. How do you build an M-shaped life? First, serial mastery. You can't build all pillars at once. That's the dash trap. Pick one pillar. Commit for a season, 6 to 18 months. Don't overthink. Choose what brings stability or what excites you most. Focus until you've mastered 80%. Enough to handle most problems without constantly checking instructions. This isn't quitting. It's strategic quitting. Finishing one pillar and graduating to the next. Second, use a stable day job. Exploration needs a foundation. Einstein worked as a patent clerk. Stable work let his mind wander through the universe. Your job isn't just a paycheck, it's a platform. High stress, high passion work that consumes all your energy? Bad. Low drain work leaves mental energy for other pillars. Think of your job as a trampoline for your curiosity, not a cage. Third, build a system. A scanner's brain generates ideas faster than it can hold them. Working memory is a small workbench. An external system gives space to capture fleeting obsessions. Nicholas Luhmann wrote over 70 books using the Zettelkasten method. One idea per note, linked over decades into massive insights. Use Notion, Obsidian, or even simple index cards. Capture ideas. Let obsessions fade guilt-free. Later, old notes might spark breakthroughs in entirely new areas. Let's make this real. Imagine you get obsessed with medieval architecture for a week. You take notes, make sketches, store them in your system. 3 years later, you're designing a website and suddenly realize the structure of a cathedral is exactly like the site's layout. That's the magic of captured curiosity. You are not a dabbler lacking grit. You are a scanner, a potential polymath. Pick your first pillar. Build it with focus. Use your job as a platform, not a cage. Capture your sparks of curiosity in a system. Repeat this process. Layer one pillar after another. You weren't meant to master just one thing. You were meant to see how everything connects. Your curiosity isn't a flaw. It's your superpower. And if you want a head start, download the free Polymath Field Guide in the description. It will help you audit your interests and design your M-shaped career. Start small, pick your first pillar, and begin building. Remember, the most powerful people in the world aren't specialists in one thing. They're polymaths who connect the dots no one else sees.